What's good, y'all? It's just your boy Dave checking in. You know me, I'm the type that I'm gonna take a break, a couple days break or longer from certain social media platforms. You know what I mean? Gotta make sure that we're focusing on self-care in these days. Gotta invest in yourself, invest in your health. And just wanted to remind folks of a couple things, just if you're out there listening. You want to invest in yourself and invest in your health and divest from narratives, mindsets, and systems that don't do us any good as a whole. Talking about the mainstream media and the media industrial complex. And you got to realize that's why I said we got to take care of ourselves, because consistently getting inundated with news regarding, what Donald Trump is doing, this, that, his people are being incompetent and this and that. You gotta understand, just being consistently day after day bombarded with that's psychological warfare. When it comes to this mainstream media and even a bunch of alternative media, which is also funded by a lot of these billionaires out here, there are no gotcha moments, okay? When you see these stories like, I'll agree, extremely incompetent Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth accidentally adding reporters to a Signal group chat where they're talking about national security issues. There's no gotcha moments. You got to realize that Jeffrey Goldberg, who works for The Atlantic, who, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, this group chat was leaked to, right? He was a former IDF spy. You can look that up. I'm not your secretary to do that work for you. You can look that up yourself. And so, again, you got to think deeper about why they're putting this out and what this is all about. And it makes it very clear that, they just want to displace Israel from responsibility for what the United States is doing right now, specifically in Yemen, bombing Yemen and getting ready to attack Iran. They're trying to insulate Israel from responsibility and displace it off to Europe. That being said, just want to make sure folks, once again, divest from these narratives that are just meant to propagandize us, that do not help us, that do not serve us. Invest in yourself, invest in your health, and divest from anything that's not positive for that. Because this is important. This is an important time we're living in, and you got to make sure that you're ready and on top of it. And you got to be sharp. You got to stay sharp. You got to be healthy. You got to be ready. Again, and like I said, the mainstream media is the propaganda arm of the state. So there are, like I said, no gotcha moments. You have to piece through and look deeper into what really happens, what really has happened in this country, and what is happening. And I've got to think back to Barack Obama, who pulled back the Smith-Mundt Act, which allowed the government to literally put up propaganda. We are so propagandized and split off, tribalized from each other at this time, where everybody's being tricked by the culture war, so that way you don't see that the real issue, the real war, is the class war. Now, that is not to say that the class war is the only way to look at things, because an analysis of our situation, only looking at the class war without an understanding of race, that is an incomplete analysis of the world we live in and the situations we live in, right? People that are still invested in the two-party system, the uniparty, who is controlled by the corporate class, who is controlled by the ruling class. You've got to break free of those paradigms. Start focusing on mutual aid. Start focusing on solidarity amongst your communities. Focusing on protecting yourself, protecting your body, protecting your mind as we go through this pretty monumental time. You got to ask yourself, what are you doing to change our material conditions? Are you doing something? Are you doing nothing? What is it going to look like for you? When people look back at this time period and ask, whether it's your kids, your grandkids, whoever it may be, people are going to ask, what did you do when all this went down? And what's your answer going to be? And I want to give a big shout out to the people who are doing something for the people, right? For we The people, because by we the people, we're talking about us, the proletariat, the people. If you're not a, 50 plus millionaire or billionaire, you're down here with us. You are the people. You may not think that you're a part of us, but you're with us. You may try to think that you're aligned with them, the people that exploit this world, that exploit our world and make it so much harder on us, but you're not with them. You can continue to cosplay that you are and mentally run through hoops to make yourself feel like you are a part of them and the ruling class, but you're down here with us. And so what can we do to continue to build strength in our own communities is the question. What are you doing to build strength in our community? But I just want to give a shout out to the people out there listening, paying attention, that care about others, that care about our conditions. And more power to you, more power to us, more power to all of us. All power to the people.